Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Chess at the Esports World Cup. Sorry, my eyes looked really bad there. It's incredible. It's absolutely incredible. Today was a fantastic day. It was the first day of the group games, so we had the last chance qualifiers, and now the players were divided into their four groups, and we had the first half of the group game. So we're going to go through that. It was an unbelievable day for chess. We've got still 3 more days of this. Tomorrow will be the final batch of group games. Then we'll have the quarterfinals, the semifinals, and the grand final on July 31st. It is going to be an incredible event, and today was incredible. We start off with Group A, and we're going to go through them sequentially. Levon Aronian. He wins the freestyle chess event in Las Vegas. He defeats Hans Niemann. He gets a last chance qualification spot, and then I'd like to show you this against Vladislav Artemiev, right? This is their Armageddon game. They didn't draw, so they each won one. It's best of 2 games. It's 10+0. This was an Armageddon. You can see Levon has got much less time. This man, we get a very interesting opening, very non-committal from Artemiev, and it was Levon actually that was pushing this game. He only needs a draw, but he was pushing, man. He was pushing Artemiev. You can see F5, F4, and Artemiev didn't really get much. Levon makes a slight inaccuracy with Queen F6, but he just starts hunting Artemiev down. Artemiev plays King H1, and Levon just goes in, right? We get this. Now he's got a completely winning move here with Queen to H6. He doesn't find it exactly, but he's given a miss, but he gets in. And remember, he only needs a draw, so a perpetual is completely fine for him. And he drops us with Rook takes F3. Brilliancy. But not only Rook takes F3, brilliancy, a Rook sacrifice. He sacrifices the Rook 2 moves in a row. 2 back-to-back brilliant moves to eventually take down Artemiev. In the Armageddon, he forces a perpetual check, which is enough when you're playing Armageddon. And then in the next round, if we go back down here, against Esipenko, in the second game, he won the first game, so Esipenko had to play something, so we got a Jobaba London from Esipenko, who took down Jan Nepomniachtchi. A very impressive result there, but he will meet him again, potentially. We got Levon Aronian dropping Rook takes C3 on move 13. Boom! Levon Aronian, when he's in form, no one can stop him. He just cooks, and he cooks everybody. It's unbelievable. And it's strange, because for this event, right, he would go into like every game as the underdog. It's unbelievable. So yeah, Group A was dominated mostly by Levon Aronian. You can see he's already made his way to the grand final. He took down Esipenko, who drops here into the losers bracket final. Remember, it's like a double elimination. So we're going to get Jan Nepomniachtchi versus Vladislav Artemiev. The winner will face Esipenko, and the winner of that will face Levon Aronian. But I think whoever qualifies for the grand final is guaranteed to get in the quarters. If I understand correctly, the grand final is just to determine seeding for the quarterfinals. That's what I understand. But this is just Group A, ladies and gentlemen. Group B. Oh my gosh. This is like the Indian group, but it's not quite. It's because we've had Nihal Sarin and Arjun Erigaisi, who were paired against each other. Arjun taking that 2 games. Remember, Nihal was a last chance qualifier, and he went through like tops. He went through undefeated. Him and Sandarov, who we'll get to in the next group. And then we had honorary Indian Anish Giri, so dubbed by other people, not me. And then Maxime Vachier-Lagrave, who's French. And Maxime Vachier-Lagrave defeated Anish Giri and went on to face Arjun. Arjun took that, as you can see, in game 3, which was in Armageddon, and he won with the white pieces. So he gets through to the grand final. MVL drops into the final of the losers bracket, and then tomorrow it will be Anish Giri versus Nihal Sarin. Both have to win 2 games against each other and then against MVL to keep their hopes alive of winning the Esports World Cup. Also, and I don't know if someone who watches a lot more esports can explain this to me. Maybe this is a bit too late in the video. All of the players have been signed by teams. But this is very individual. Like some of the teammates, like we'll get to in the next group, play each other. So, huh? like I know esports is very team orientated, but doesn't that mainly work for like other games? I don't know about chess. Like, is the winner going to get points for their team, and then there's going to be a team that wins like the World Cup? Explain, comment section. Group C. Good stuff. Oh my gosh. So Hikaru Nakamura, unfortunately, he just goes right past Sandarov. Sandarov, undefeated to get you in the last chance qualifiers, but he goes down. Alireza Firouzja versus Wei Yi. Alireza taking that. And Hikaru Nakamura and Alireza played two tight-knit games in their first two games, and it went to Armageddon. As you can see, it was a draw in the Armageddon, so it meant a win for Alireza Firouzja. And basically, Hikaru had to press in this game, right? So he started with the bishop's opening, and he, gave up the bishop pair early on, and he was pressing, went for f4, not f5. He pushed, and it looked like he was losing a knight, but he just kind of managed to get the tactics here to move his king early. And let's not beat around the bush. Black was significantly better for a large portion of this game. Hikaru took massive risk in the opening when he maybe didn't need to, and you can see there were some only moves which he didn't quite find, but neither did Alireza. But Alireza only needed a draw. Hikaru had to play for the win. Knight to g5 was kind of the final miss because of queen to d5. We had takes, and Hikaru's king was on f7. He got his queen trapped, as you will see, and he was just up a piece because he managed to take the knight, and Alireza's knight escaped, and he looked like he might have drawing chances in the endgame, but drawing chances aren't enough when you need to press for a win. So he was going to try and flag Alireza, which we have seen a couple of times, a couple of players flagging, struggling on time, because it's 10 plus 0. And Armageddon, you don't really get bonus time, and sorry that animation is going so slowly. I don't know what's going on, if it's like a default thing. And basically, if I just cycle through it a bit quicker, you can see Hikaru finding only moves, but remember the engine doesn't understand Armageddon. Once it's simplified here, Alireza was never going to lose this. It was always going to be a draw. The best Hikaru could hope for was to flag. You can see they threatened repetition a couple of times, but that was never really anything to worry about. We had nearly a forced rook trade around here somewhere. Yeah, it was around here, where we got the rook coming down. Here. Somewhere around here. Yeah, it was check, king moved up, we took, and then there was this nice move, rook to d4, which forced the rooks off the board. And then the knight moved and sacrificed, forcing the draw for Alireza Firouzja. So he moves on to the grand final. Hikaru Nakamura drops into the losers bracket final, and he'll face the winner of Yakivor Sandarov and Wei Yi. And now we get on to our main event, I suppose. It was the main event of the day, Group D. You can see the results on screen. Magnus Carlsen doing Magnus Carlsen things. And in Magnus Carlsen ways, really. His first game against Nordebek, he just had small advantages. We can look through that game, I suppose. His first game against Nordebek Abdusatorov, which was a win, and there's not really much to speak of. It wasn't a long endgame. Literally, I'm scrolling through the game analysis. It gives like Nordebek had like two mistakes. So the first mistake he played was here. After b4. He only has, as you can see, b5. Instead, he took en passant. Only at the extreme high levels of chess is en passant a mistake. And then, Magnus had the slightest of advantages. Like, we're talking the slightest of advantages. Like, he wasn't even really up a pawn. He wasn't up something tangible. It was just this endgame. And, he puts pressure on Nordebek. You can see he was up on the clock, which you need to be. It's 10 plus 0. It's a very short time control. When you consider that in Blitz, sometimes you end up with more time because, particularly in endgames, you get the bonus time. You don't get that here. There's no bonus time. And you can see rook c5, taking a free pawn. The other mistake, because Magnus Carlsen found the perfect move. When he plays en passant, it's correct. And we got down to rook versus knight and two pawns. And Magnus Carlsen just converts. It wasn't a forever endgame. It wasn't 100 moves. But the knight can no longer defend the pawn. Once that pawn falls, everything falls. So Magnus Carlsen got past Nordebek Abdusatorov and then forced a draw in their second game. He was winning, but he forced a draw. And then got past young Krzysztof Duda, who defeated Fabiano Caruana. I do want to show you the Fabiano Caruana loss because it was a very interesting game. This game between Jan Shustov and Fabiano Caruana. D4, D5. And it was a Queen's Gambit. It was really nothing fancy from these two players. A lot of theory busted out. To start, you can see King to F1. Very strange move, but hey, it has to be played. The engine thought it was a little bit of a mistake, but you can see Jan Shustov do that. Like him and Raporta. Oh, I like this, man. When they play some interesting creative chess. He did make one or two mistakes, and Fabiano Caruana was better. You can see we got the sacrifice we took, and like they were just tactics flying around the board. I can't really go into them. I don't understand all of them myself. I didn't watch the live broadcast, unfortunately, because university and, home life and stuff like that. Wasn't able to completely follow along with the entire broadcast. It was beautiful, though. It was a brilliant broadcast. And you can see Fabiano Caruana, his big mistake was here, Queen to B7. Before he makes two mistakes, right? It's not the first mistake that kills you. This is level. You can see he's got a rook for a knight. But Jan Shustov has got... Fabiano Caruana has got a knight for a rook, but he's got the two pawns. And those are probably going to be more impactful. And you can see Jan Shustov only has one move. He doesn't find it. And then he plays Queen to B7, which is a complete blunder. And Fabiano Caruana was winning because he found knight to E5, which borderline traps the rook after like H4. Queen A8, Queen G4. And you can see he's hunting the king. And we get in with the knight. The rook has to now sacrifice. Now Fabiano Caruana is just up 2 pawns. And here he plays King to H7, which allows a draw after Queen to D4. And then you have to play G5. And now B6. Now the move he plays is Queen to B3, which is not good enough because he misses Queen D3 check. Game over. It was such a silly mistake. Fabiano Caruana couldn't believe it. Because there are several moves that draw here. Mainly, knight takes B6. You can just sack the knight. And then these pawns are very strong, coming down the board. And before you have time to make me, I will probably force a perpetual. And that's probably how the game would have ended. Fabiano Caruana, Queen to B3 was just unbelievable. Queen to B3 was unbelievable blunder from someone like Fabiano Caruana. He did have less than a minute on the clock, yes. But yeah, and he's teammates with Magnus Carlsen, which would have been strange had they faced each other. And also, Hikaru and Alireza are on the same team. From what I can gather, all of these players are on a team. This is the first time chess is at the Esports World Cup, though, and it has been phenomenal. So Magnus Carlsen, grand final. Jan Shustov Duda in the losers bracket final. Fabiano Caruana versus Notabek Abdusattorov is going to be a very, very good game, I think. And feasibly, one of the two of them could beat Jan Shustov. Like this, if I was going to pick a group where one of the two could go all the way to the grand final from the losers semifinals, it would be this one. Let's just maybe check back. So we do the quickest of recaps. Group A. Who's in the losers? Jan Nepomniachtchi, Artemiev, Esipenko. Thing is, Jan already lost to Esipenko. Maybe if Artemiev won that game, but I would pick Jan to win that game. So very strange. Maybe he gets revenge on Esipenko and then fights the beast Levon Aronian. Group B. Anish Girini Halsaran. I do apologize. Rapid is not their time control. I think MVL will play Arjun in there. Group C. Yaku Sundarov Wei, I don't think they're getting past Hikaru Nakamura, so it'll be Hikaru and Alireza in a rematch that side. And that is the recap from like day one of this event. It has been incredible. It really, really has. Chess is an esport. It belongs. It belongs at the Olympics. Chess belongs everywhere. It's for everybody to play. I hope you enjoyed the video. Let me know down in the comments below. Lots of stuff to comment. Always is on my videos because I'm really good, really bad in between. Always lots of stuff to say. Cheers.